G'day and welcome to another episode from Duncanomics. I'm Duncan. I've done a few other videos, some blogs on my website, duncanomics.com, that you can find there. This one I want to change a little bit. Previous ones have been a little bit about philosophy, economics, that sort of thing. But this one I want to start getting a little bit more practical. I work in technology. You can see on my website I've got a little bit about that, what I do. But I guess working in tech, I've noticed I like technology. I think it can be useful, but over the last few years, particularly with the coronavirus pandemic, and I would say government overreach, I found it quite disgusting to be frank, and particularly technology, how that's being used more and more in censorship and controlling people, and that's just sad. As someone that works in technology, I don't think it should be used for that. I think technology should be used to liberate people, I suppose, for its utility purposes. It's just another tool, right? And it's sad when it's used to control people. So this new series is really just about a few of the tools that I've come to know, how to... I would like to, I guess, give back a little bit to the community, particularly people that are new to computers or just don't know where to start. So I'd like to just provide a little bit of that. So hopefully I can do that. Let me know as we go through this series if there's questions that you have, concerns that you have. In particular, I'm really interested in using these tools to fight back. During the coronavirus pandemic, I was aware, and in fact went to a few protests to government overreach, and that can be an okay thing, but it has really limited pushback, I guess. How much did governments really listen to that? It's hard to know. Maybe it had something. Anyway, I do actually think that technology and the way communities serve each other is actually just a much more powerful way to push back, to create the world that we want to be in, rather than just complaining all the time. So I'm not discouraging you too much from going to protests, but hopefully in these episodes I can give you some tools to be more effective. And particularly in this episode, a good start to that, I wanted to start with an area that I know a little bit about, which is cryptocurrency. And if that's new to you, hopefully this will sort of help you understand what it's all about. So I guess maybe I should start at something like Bitcoin, and for those that don't know, that was the first mover in cryptocurrencies. And we're going to look at that in a moment. We'll do a demo, and so you can see how that all works. For those that don't know, Bitcoin has a really good advantage compared to government currencies in that it can't be inflated. So as we saw with coronavirus, as the government were printing money to pay for all sorts of controls, we saw inflation go up, didn't we? As people were locked in their homes and couldn't work, the resources might be delayed and more scarce. So as the money's printed, we see prices rise to compensate that. And that's just a natural part of economics, unfortunately. Or fortunately, it depends how you look at it. And so something like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can be really powerful because they have the scarcity of something like gold. In fact, sometimes Bitcoiners often they'll say it is digital gold. So that's great. So it means that it's quite impossible really for governments to just easily, or anyone, it doesn't have to be governments, to print more of that currency. So Bitcoin, naturally, like gold, and maybe even better than gold, is really scarce. So as people use it in an economy, it creates more demand for that currency, and the value goes up instead of going down. So that's a really powerful way to bring wealth to that community that chooses to use that. So that's good. So we'll use that in a moment. The only problem I've had with Bitcoin is I have tried to use it, and in like a lot of people that get into crypto, they'll start with Bitcoin, but unfortunately, the system of Bitcoin is less and less being useful in payments. So it's become over time quite expensive to use. So where a credit card you might pay 1 to 2% transaction fees, Bitcoin can be even more than that, like $5 or something per transaction, and that makes it a bit prohibitive for payments. So what we'll do, we'll have a demo instead of with Bitcoin Cash, which is very similar in the scarcity element, but it does have an advantage that it's got very cheap transaction costs, so less than a cent to send money. So it has the same scarcity, but it was also really liquid like the dollar. And that's what we want. We need it to be, liquid and easy to transfer if communities want to use it. So, so let's get started. So what I have got here, I've got a, if I change to this other screen here, you can see that I've got two screens. I've got my mobile phone that you can see there, and I've got this screen down here, which is another program that is on my computer. So really common with Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash and other cryptocurrencies is that most of the time you're probably going to use it on a smartphone. If you had a lot of funds in a program and in the cryptocurrency world, a program that holds your funds, you would call a wallet, or rather the program opens the wallet, which stores is the data that holds your wallet, right? And so we've got two of those. So I've got quite a lot. So if I go into this program here, so you can see my phone. This is my phone here, but I've got it mirrored on the screen there, so you can see what I'm looking at, and I've got quite a few wallets there. And what I want to sort of emulate in this demo is just pretend that I am a merchant, a business owner. Maybe that's you. You're a business owner that is a bit disgusted with all these increases in technology, surveillance and control. And you decide, well, I'm going to do a small bit that I can do to push back, and I'm not interested in central bank digital currencies. So this is an alternative that you want to provide for your customers. Well, you might have a Bitcoin Cash wallet like this one here, and you install it on your computer. I've got a list of transactions here, but let's pretend that they're not there yet. If we go into this Receive tab, we see here that I have got a receiving address. So a receiving address is like a bank account number, you could think of it, but it's a lot longer, isn't it? It looks like a hash. Sometimes computer people would call this a hash, but it's an address, and it's not really something you want to give over the phone, right? It's really long. It's got lots of numbers and letters in it. So fortunately, real common with cryptocurrencies is you'll have a QR code, and this QR code simply represents that address. So I've got this, I'm going to choose a different wallet on my phone so you can see it work. The thing about cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoin Cash, it's very decentralized. So when you interact with it, you don't have to go through a specific program, right? So like PayPal, you're always going through PayPal. You log in with PayPal. The receiver has to also have PayPal, but it's not the case in cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized system. So I'm going to choose a different wallet. In this case, I'm going to use Selene wallet. So you can see that here. So I'm just going to tap that, and it's going to look quite different, but they're both interacting on this Bitcoin Cash network. So we can pretend these are two different people, and I'm going to come into a shop and I'm going to buy something for, let's say 50 cents. So you can see in this wallet, I've already got $1 worth of Bitcoin Cash. A little bit confusing, but the currency you can see here, so it says it's got a little B symbol, and it's got 0.0027 and then a whole lot of numbers in Bitcoin Cash. So that is the equivalent at the market rate at the moment is about $1. And just to put it in perspective, years and years ago, I mean, at one point, $1 worth of Bitcoin Cash was 1 Bitcoin Cash. So over the time, as more and more people use it, in theory, I don't know where it's going to go, but in theory, it should go up. And I should take the time to say this isn't financial advice, so I'm not talking about this from a perspective of you should buy this, but this is really just about educating you so you know how to use it. If you choose yourself to use it one day, cryptocurrency, it is the Wild West at the moment, so you have to be really careful. There's lots of scams, and I do want to do another video on that in the future about scams. There's some really good ways to look out for scams, so we will do that as well. So what I want to do now is I want to buy this something, an apple or something from this merchant, right? So what I would do is on this Celine wallet here, you can see there's a scan. This is my address, by the way, but I would use that if I want someone to send to me. But in this case, I'm going to click this scan button here. And as you can see, it's got my camera. You can see my TV screen, and I'm just going to come down to this QR here. And once it sees it, bam, it's scanned it. So as you can see at the top, it's got send to, and it's now got this QR code. So this is exactly what is here on the other wallet. So by using a QR, that's a lot simpler. There are ways to other ways. You don't have to use a QR. If you're using emails in a business, you would just simply paste the whole thing, so it can be copy pasted in an email, something like that. Or you might put it on an invoice. There's also vending machines, and they'll have QR codes and that sort of thing. So there's quite a lot of options there on how you do that, but it's really quite easy to get set up initially. And so on my phone, I'm just going to type in 0.5 for 50 cents. Click confirm, and transaction sent. So how easy was that, hey? So if I go and have a look at this Bitcoin Cash wallet here, I click history, and there we can see that there is already it says unconfirmed. So this here is a new transaction that's come through. Now it is instant. In this case, unconfirmed. It means it's a little bit nerdy, but it means it hasn't been mined in a block yet, and that just means I think it already has been mined. Every 10 minutes, on average, a new block is mined. So if once it's included in that, you can be more sure that it's gone through. You could probably think of it like settlement on a bank. A lot of banks used to be overnight. They would settle transactions here in Australia. Sometimes it's faster nowadays, but in the Bitcoin Cash world, it's about every 10 minutes. And so we can even go in here and click details, although I don't think you can see that window. No, you can't. We can see more information here by right-clicking on it and seeing details and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's it. That's basically how you do a transaction. And but I guess why would we want to use this, right? Like, don't we normally use dollars? Why would we use a different currency? Well, I've already said that it in theory does go up in value, right? And that's true. So another screen I want to show you here is I have got a map here, and this map is a really good place to find other businesses that do use Bitcoin Cash. There's other map services for other different cryptocurrencies, which is great and fine. I have found there's a lot more for Bitcoin Cash, but I'm not sort of wanting to steer too much necessarily. There's some other good options, but let's just use this for now. So I'm in this map. I'm looking at Australia for now, so that's where I am. And a really good place in Townsville in Australia, in Queensland. If I zoom up here, they've got over 200 merchants. I know the guy that is sort of spearheading a lot of that effort there, Bitcoin Jason, and in fact I would like to get him on next time to have a chat to him about his efforts there. So as you can see, if you live in Townsville, Australia, you've got an option there. There's already quite an economy, a lot of people using it. Maybe you could say you wouldn't need a bank account if you lived there, and I'd like to ask Jason that if he does he even worry about a bank account. I don't know. And that's really what it's all about, I suppose. It's as you can see, what I've sort of shown you here, Bitcoin Cash isn't so much about buying lots of money and hoping that it'll go up one day, but it's about providing an alternative way to have money that can't be controlled. That's probably another great thing about Bitcoin Cash is the way it's been set up. We'll go more into the tech details another time, but it's not designed in a way like a CBDC or a bank account where someone can control your funds. In a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin Cash, you have complete control. I'm using this wallet now, Selene wallet, I'll change over to that now. So this is Selene wallet, but if needed, if Selene wallet, was no longer working one day, you can restore it and you can choose a different wallet. And Flowy Pay here is another great option. Both these wallets or wallet software, both of them are open source, so we can have a reasonable idea that the community has vetted the software and there's no nasty things in there. So I think that's probably all I would like to show you now. Probably one last thought with this. One small way that I have enjoyed using this is even as I sell things on Facebook Marketplace or on the second-hand market, is offering, I accept Bitcoin Cash, and it can be used in a real grassroots movement there, I think. There is another way to buy it. Most people in cryptocurrency would say, well, just go to an exchange. An exchange, that's an option. I've done that myself. That's more if you'd have to be pretty confident. If you go out and buy, if you want to just go buy Bitcoin Cash or a cryptocurrency, like most people nowadays, that's how they get it. That's fine, but just consider that if you do that, there's a little bit of hassle. You have to. Most places you have to send them your driver's license or some sort of ID so they can vet you. You also have to pay a spot fee. If you are a business accepting a cryptocurrency, you normally get it at spot price with no fee. So it's a lot easier. You just simply put the QR code on your invoice, or you can also get Bitcoin Cash. I should show you that. A point of sale. Oh, yes, I do. See, I've got this here, this Bitcoin Cash Register app. So this is another great option. Oh, whoops, I better swap to that screen. So I'll just go out of it again. So Bitcoin Cash Register app, this one here. So this very simple app, you simply just type the amount and click checkout, and it gives you the QR. So there's actually no wallet in this app. So really great option if you have a cheap tablet or phone that you can use as a business owner out the front, and that can replace something like an FPOS terminal. So really easy to set up. But by the way, if any of this really does interest you as a business owner, please reach out and I'll just put my website there. Look, I'd be more than happy to talk you through these things. There are a lot of scams, so you just need to be a little bit careful. And yeah, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is duncan@duncanomics.com. But we might leave it there because I don't want this to drag on too much. I want to keep people interested and I want to give small bite-size tips. So we'll leave it at that. And next time I'll hopefully have Bitcoin Jason on and we can have a chat about what he's doing in Townsville and how he finds that. Thank you for listening. Until next time. See you later.